I'm with Reed Fischer for the U.S. Half Champs. Before we get to the questions, you got to talk about this lovely outfit you have going on.
Thank you. Yeah,
do a little.
Getting the compliments. The cardigan is from Adidas headquarters in Herzog at Road to Records. Last year they brought us to the promo store, and this was my favorite find. Adios Pro 4s, of course, and that's the fit.
So, what would it mean to you to make this world team?
Yeah, I think everyone who's on the start list probably wants that spot, and so it's, everyone's kind of got that in mind. But for me personally, I qualified for the World Half Team in 2021. We didn't get to go because of COVID, so that left a chip on my shoulder, and then was able to qualify in 2023 and went to Riga with that team, but strained my calf in the middle of that race pretty bad, and that ended up affecting my whole fall leading into the Olympic Trials Marathon in 24. So I feel like I've qualified for that team twice, but I've yet to really live up to the expectation of competing. One year I just couldn't compete at all because of COVID, and the other I had an injury kind of take me out. So being in San Diego, in the US, and being able to compete hard would mean a ton to me. Would have family be able to come, and yeah, it's just a team I'd like to keep my streak alive, qualify for a third time, so we're going to give it everything we have on Sunday.
Now, for training and on the entry list, it said you were part of Tinman Elite.
Yes.
Is Tinman still strong? Who's
You're asking
part of
the
the
question
team?
everybody wants the answer to. Yes. So I'm with Adidas. The team is still figuring everything out from the structural standpoint, but we will continue to exist for sure in a capacity, and we might look a little different, whether that means athletes changing, title sponsor changing. It's still a little bit in flux. We hope to have an answer sooner rather than later. It's been already a 6-month ongoing process, kind of trying to make sure that everything gets sorted out in a way that sets us up well for the future of Tinman Elite, both as individuals and as a team. So still working towards a hard decision. I wish I could just spill it all out for you, but we don't have the answers ourselves entirely yet. So
now, is Drew and Jones still part of it?
Yeah, so Drew is with ASICS now, obviously. So that's kind of the big question mark, right? Is like, what does the team look like? He's been so integral to the success and the identity of the team since its inception. So these are the questions that we need to work through, and we are working through them. And yeah, I think Drew will remain attached to the team in some capacity, whether that's being a full-fledged member of the team or more of like a training affiliate. And again, that will kind of depend on the title sponsor situation. Joan is still very much the head coach of Tinman Elite and will remain so. I think we've all been running well, staying healthy, and been really happy with her as a coach. So the plan is to make sure that stays in place, and she'll be definitely the head coach of Tinman Elite moving into the next 4-year cycle, which is great.
Now, Drew was initially on this list to compete at the Half Champs, but now he's running a 5K at BU.
Boston, yep.
What was the switch?
Yeah, I think Drew is at a pace in his life where he just really wants to do what he's excited about, and so I think for him, initially he was like, maybe I'd like to move up and try half, and then he started really thinking about how long the year is this year on the track side, and he was like, I could knock out a good 5K, knock out a good 10K at the 10, and then take like a little break, rest up, and then return to the track season in the spring. And I think for where he's at, that just made a little bit more sense. The training he's been doing is a little bit more speed focused in the last month, and I think he's been honestly pleasantly surprised by the way some of his fast stuff has gone. So he just wants to strike while the iron's hot on the track, and he's still shockingly young given he signed when he was like 18. It feels like he's been in the pro scene forever, but he's 26, I think, 27. So he knows the roads are waiting for him, and I think he is kind of toying with the idea of doing a half at some point maybe in 2025, and just wants to make sure it's the right setup for him.
And lastly, and most importantly, how is your wife doing?
Thank you for asking. Christine is crushing it. She's coming up on 2 years since finishing chemo and radiation, and she's been in a place of no evidence of disease since then, which is an enormous blessing, and we're so grateful. We know, I know that it wouldn't happen without her spirit. Like, she's one of the most tough, tenacious, perseverant people I've ever met, and so I think if you have that mindset, hard things become relatively easier. So I'm super grateful for just the approach that she's had to getting and remaining healthy. But also we know that it takes a village, and the team and our friends and our loved ones and our family and random strangers and people like you asking and checking in, it means the world to us, and it's made it such a not easy thing to bear because it's been incredibly difficult, but it's made it a lot easier knowing that we're not alone in this. And just hearing from people who maybe shared a similar diagnosis. Christine ran New York City Marathon this fall and ran it with another young woman who'd been diagnosed with cancer at a young age as well, and they met each other in the hospitality tent before the race and said, hey, we both want to run around 3 hours. We were both diagnosed with cancer in our 20s. Maybe this is a sign that we should just do this together. So she's crushing it, and life is very much looking up, and we're so grateful for that. So thank you for asking.
Awesome, and hopefully you crush it on Sunday.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
I'll do my best.
Thank you.
Yep, of course.